Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Sports Bash, presented by TicketBash.com, and also brought to you by the Embassy Diner, located at 4280 Hempstead Turnpike in Bethpage, where every customer is considered family. Mention Sports Bash, get a free dessert with your meal. Sports Bash also brought to you by the offices of Dr. Anthony Ippolito at Chiropractic Care Plus, located at 1 John Street in Babylon. Chiropractic Care Plus is the only choice when searching for Long Island chiropractors. Give Dr. Ippolito a call at 631-669-6221. By the Marty Lyons Foundation, the official charity of Sports Bash Media. The third annual Bowling for Wishes event coming up on August 23rd at Levittown Lanes in Levittown. For more details and to purchase tickets, go to martylionsfoundation.org. And by Collaborate Studios, a content marketing production facility. For more info, call them at 516-509-8277. A good Tuesday morning, everyone. I'm Peter Schwartz, joined as always by Vinny Tickets. Good morning, Vinny.
Good morning, Peter.
Good show coming up later on in the program. It is a free Ticket Tuesday. We've got a couple of Yankee tickets to give away to see the Yankees take on the Guardians on August 20th at Yankee Stadium, so stay tuned for details on how to win. We'll also check out the Sports Bash Media poll question of the day, and we'll have this day in sports history. It is time for the Sports Bash Flash, and it's brought to you by the Embassy Diner in Bethpage, where every customer is considered family. The Embassy Diner, located at 4280 Hempstead Turnpike in Bethpage. Mention Sports Bash, get a free dessert with your meal. Was in there on Saturday night. Went in, and Pete, Gus's dad, was in there greeting us at the door. Was very happy because there were a couple of people that had come in during the week and mentioned Sports Bash, got that free dessert, and a lot of smiles around the Embassy Diner on Saturday night.
Well, that's a great thing because they are a great sponsor. And you know what's even better? When you have a great sponsor, but they have a great product.
Yes.
Right? And
we're not just blowing smoke when we talk about how great the Embassy Diner is.
Yeah, no, listen, it's a great spot. Anything I've ever had there was fantastic.
So make sure you stop by the Embassy Diner, mention Sports Bash, and get a free dessert with your meal. And all of their desserts, oh my God, they're all maybe they'll let you take. They won't let you take two. It's one. It's one.
Dessert,
one per person. So if you order something there, you get the one dessert. But I mean, you have to keep going back and keep mentioning Sports Bash and sampling everything that they have there.
There you go.
Because everything is so good.
That's a plan.
The Yankees tonight will, after an off day yesterday, will open up a series with the Angels at Yankee Stadium, and another big series for the Yankees, looking to try to keep this thing rolling after taking 2 out of 3 against the Blue Jays.
Yeah, actually, I'm on my way there tonight. I'm taking the wife and kids.
A big Vinny Tickets family outing at the Yankee game.
Family outing, yeah. The son leaves. Can you believe that my son's leaving for school already? August 10th. This Saturday, yeah.
Bradley goes August 15th.
Yeah, it's unbelievable how quick it goes.
And not just forget about that. You look at some of these other places, and we're a little used to everything going on in New York and in school for the kids starting, at least, in elementary school, middle school, and high school, starting in September. And for years I've heard, how in Florida things start a couple of weeks earlier. I just saw, I think in Atlanta, they were just starting last week. I saw somebody was sending their kid off to middle school.
Really?
A friend of the family.
Wow. That's very early.
What is going on around the country?
And that's a public school, or that's
a public school?
Really?
I think it was in Atlanta.
Wow.
That a middle school was starting last week. I mean, what's going on with the rest of the country? How could you start school in the middle of August?
Yeah, I'd be up in arms about that.
I could understand, if you play a sport, if you play football or you play soccer, and it's a fall sport, you get in a little earlier. But to start classes in the middle, there was a time a number of years ago where so Bradley played USA football, and it was at the end of the school year. So he had a final, and then I had to pick him up, and then we drove to Canton, and then Cheryl and Jared met us there later in the week. They flew, but we had to drive the day before. So we get there and report. He's on the field for practice the next day, and he met this kid on the team was from Chicago. And they had been done with school for weeks. They couldn't believe when Bradley said, "I just took a final yesterday, and now I'm standing here on the football field in the middle of the summer."
Yeah, I'd be up in arms if they took away my August.
I mean, that's crazy.
August is summer. That's your summer, really. Yeah. It's July, but you ease into July, and then it's August is here. Summer.
I think we do it right here on Long Island in the New York area. You
What
have
else
to
is
have
new?
a full summer. Yes, I think we
Yeah.
do it correct. The Mets are in Denver tonight to open up a series with the Colorado Rockies. Atlantic League, the Long Island Ducks continuing their homestand. They have their rivalry series this week out at Fairfield Properties Ballpark as the Staten Island Ferry Hawks come to Long Island. First pitch tonight is at 6:35. So we're always thinking about interesting things to talk about here on the show. And a lot of times, obviously, because we're sponsored by Ticketbash.com, the great company that Vinny Tickets runs, we like to have our little synergy between talking about sports but also talking about tickets. And with tickets comes memories of going to games, whether you were a child or an adult or taking your grandkids to games, whatever. Going to a game, going to a concert always creates tremendous memories, even when your team doesn't win. I always talk to my kids. My wife and I take the kids to a game, and if they lose, if the team we're going to see loses, the first thing I just want to say is, did you guys have a good time at the game? And more times than not, they will say yes. Now, it took Jared a little longer to say he had a good time at the Stadium Series game after the Islanders blew that lead against the Rangers. When he calmed down,
when he thought out,
when he calmed down and realized that it was an experience to be there. Yeah, it was a pretty good time to be at a hockey game with 80,000 people. But my point being, over the course of your life, you've been to a number of games. What was your favorite game that you've ever been to as a fan? I mean, I could speak twofold from covering games too, but we'll try and keep it to your favorite game as a fan. And I want to hear from the people. We are taped today, so we can't take phone calls. So if you're listening to the show or watching the show, comment on the Sports Bash Media social media pages at X and Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Would love to hear from you what your favorite sports event that you've ever been to. So I'm going to go around the room. Let me start with Wiz. Wiz, you've been to a lot of games. You're growing up here on Long Island.
Yeah.
Give me a game, and if you say anything about the Rangers, you'll be asked to leave the studio. So I'm just asking. Give me your favorite sporting event that you've been to.
The one that really sticks out in my mind is back in 2013 when the Mets had the All-Star game. I went to the Home Run Derby. I was in the very, very top.
Yeah.
However, the issue there is that it just feels like a lot of things went wrong at that time. I lost my Mets hat on the train. And I also just felt very sick the entire time. I couldn't stay awake. I just felt very,
And this
very
was
nauseous.
memorable?
It's memorable.
and this was your best.
This was your best?
Maybe we should have went with the worst.
All the games you've been to, you're talking about you lost your Met hat on the train, you felt sick the whole night, and that's
Okay.
your favorite moment?
I'll give you my best one.
Okay.
2008 Giants Patriots. That was the game the Patriots won 16-0. I remember that one.
Oh, you were at that game.
I was at that game
Okay.
at Giants Stadium.
I was there too that night, yeah.
I was 8 years old. I was with my dad. So yeah, I remember that pretty vividly.
Okay, now that's a memorable moment. That's a memory.
Well, both
okay,
are
not
memories.
losing your hat and getting sick at Citi Field.
Both are memories, just for different reasons.
Let's go to Vinny Tickets. Favorite game that you've ever been to?
Wow. It would have to be my passion is the Yankees. It would have to be one of two Yankees. I took my son to Derek Jeter's final game at Yankee Stadium.
Okay.
And we know what happened.
Yes.
I mean, in Jeter-esque form.
Theater.
Absolute theater. And I always tell people about that game. It was raining all day long, and it was a hassle to get into the city. It was like planes, trains, and automobiles. So we took the train to the city. We were going to jump on the subway. The subway was backed up. We wound up jumping in an Uber. They couldn't get close to the stadium. We had to walk to the stadium. I knew it was going to be a special night because as my son and I were walking up to the stadium, over Yankee Stadium, a giant rainbow appeared, and I said, this is a special moment. And then we know what happened. Jeter had the walk-off, and we had great seats, of course, for the game. So that was a special day. I'll never forget, and I have a bunch of those ticket stubs.
Yes.
Remember the old days they had tickets. And the other game would be when the Yankees won the World Series in '96. I happened to be at that game with my sister. and her husband and a bunch of friends, and that was another really memorable game. But I would say it would be one of those two.
Yeah, I'm going to take the commercial break to ponder my two, and I'll come back with my two. Since you took two, I'll take two as well. So that'll be coming up on the other side of the break. And coming up, it is a Free Ticket Tuesday. We're going to be giving away some Yankee tickets on the show. We'll also have the Sports Bash Media poll question of the day and this day in sports history. And again, we're talking about your most memorable sporting event. And I guess if you want to go off the board, you can say concert too. I'd like to try to keep it the sporting event, but I won't penalize anybody if they want to say concert. Maybe I'll throw a concert in when we come back as well, because I do have my favorite one of those as well. Could you imagine what it might be?
Billy?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think the 20 of them. So
Piano Man.
One does stick out. So I could bring that up. Maybe I'll do one concert, one sporting event when we come back. So we'll be back with more of Sports Bash presented by TicketBash.com when we roll on right after this. Hi, I'm Peter Schwartz.
And I'm Vinny Tickets.
We want to take a moment to talk about our fantastic sponsor, the Embassy Diner.
Embassy Diner has been a beloved staple in the restaurant industry for over 50 years. And the great thing about it is when you walk through the door, you're not a customer, you are family. Every visit promises to be filled with warmth, love, and respect.
And here's an extra treat. If you mention Sports Bash during your visit, you enjoy a free dessert on the Embassy Diner.
Come on down to the Embassy Diner, where great food and great company are always on the menu.
Visit the Embassy Diner, located at 4280 Hempstead Turnpike in Bethpage. Welcome back to Sports Bash, presented by TicketBash.com. For those watching on Facebook and YouTube, Peter Schwartz, Vinny Tickets, back with you. And I'm excited you're going with your family to the Yankees game tonight. It's always a special thing when you go with the family to a game.
It sure is, yeah. And
I would imagine you have good seats.
Well, I don't have them yet, actually.
You don't have them yet.
No, I'm going to be patient. I'm going to look for the best value later in the day.
The CEO of TicketBash.com is patiently waiting out the tickets. How about that?
Yeah, being patient. Yeah, I'm looking for something special.
The best customer is the boss, right?
Yes. Yes.
And if he preaches patience to ticket buyers, how could he not preach patience to him and his family?
You must be patient.
Now, does the family get upset with you because you're the ticket guy? Like, Dad, why didn't you get the tickets already?
Yeah, sometimes it'll work against us that you don't get exactly where you want to be, but
so what are you looking for tonight? What's the ideal place to sit?
Legends.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to try for Legends. If I can't steal Legends late, I'll just get us some great field boxes.
I can speak to how good the Legends are. They are.
Special.
They're pretty good. I'm hoping I get to
I hope
do
my
that.
wife's not listening.
Yeah. Well, your wife and my wife are the two most passionate viewers of the show, so I got to think there's a pretty good chance that Adrian is listening and watching. So we're going to talk more about your favorite sports games or concerts that you've ever been to. That's coming back in just a moment when we rejoin our radio audience for Sports Bash, presented by TicketBash.com. Welcome back to Sports Bash, presented by TicketBash.com on this Tuesday morning. Peter Schwartz along with Vinny Tickets. WizKid Vinny will be by in just a moment with this day in sports history. But it is Tuesday, and you know what that means, right?
Free Ticket Tuesday.
It is Free Ticket Tuesday, and we are giving away 2 tickets to see the Yankees take on the Cleveland Guardians on August 20th at Yankee Stadium. Now, because we are taped today and not live, we cannot take any phone calls. Here's what you need to do to try and win the Yankees tickets. You have to go to the Sports Bash Media X/Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram pages and DM us with the word Sports Bash. And we'll pick a winner at random, and we'll announce it on social media, and the winner will get 2 tickets to see the Yankees take on the Guardians on August 20th at Yankee Stadium. Seems like a fair enough thing. We're enjoying a day away from the studio on this Tuesday, so the show is taped. So we still want to make sure that we give away the 2 tickets on Free Ticket Tuesday.
Continuity, very important.
So we're going to get back to our favorite sporting events that we've ever been to. And I'm going to pick two since Vinny Tickets picked two on the first segment. I'm actually going to repeat something that you said. You said Game 6 of the '96 World Series, right?
Correct.
Game 6. So I was there too. Now I was not there as a fan.
Bogs on the horse, right?
Bogs on the horse. Now I was not there as a fan, but I'm still going to count this because I'm the host of the show, so I can do what I want to do. So I was there with a media credential covering the game, and remember, it had been how many years since the Yankees had won a World Series. I mean, I was 9 and 10 when they won, or 10 and 11 when they won in '77 and again in '78. And I appreciated it back then, but I really didn't have a full grasp of what was going on at that young age. But to be there at Yankee Stadium when the Yankees won the World Series in 1996, and not only that, and this is where it really gets cool, I was in the locker room. Like, I covering the championship celebration. I had champagne poured on me in the Yankee clubhouse
cool
after Game 6 of the 1996
Have you
World
showered
Series.
yet?
I did.
Yeah,
I did.
okay.
But I made sure because I heard from people that had been in that atmosphere before, because I've got my microphone and my recorder, and you have to be careful because if you get doused with champagne, like, that could damage your equipment. So I was wearing, like, not a poncho but like a raincoat, but I also had my recorder and stuff in a plastic bag. Had the microphone out because if the microphone gets wet, you can dry it off, but I didn't want to get the recorder soaking wet. So that was a lot of fun. That was memorable. And, I'm going to say, I'm not going to go the concert route. I've been to 20 Billy Joel concerts, and I can give you any one of them. Maybe the first one, the Live from Long Island that was on HBO in 1982. I can give you that one as a concert. But the other sporting event, and everyone knows it follows me, that the Islanders are my favorite sports franchise that I root for. And I'm just going to go back to the beginning because I grew up watching the Islanders when we first lived in Queens, and I was watching the Islanders on Channel 9. But it was not until January of 1978 when my father took me to my first Islanders game, and it was January 5th, 1978. The Islanders played the Cleveland Barons, who are now defunct, right? Because they merged with the Minnesota North Stars, and they stayed the Minnesota North Stars. So it was the Islanders and the Cleveland Barons. The Islanders won 5-3. My father lost the ticket stubs from the game. A few years ago, I found one on eBay. Somebody was selling one on eBay.
How great is that?
And I think, if I remember correctly, it might not be too far off from where we were sitting. So at least I do have a ticket stub from my first ever Islanders game. So I'll go with that.
Wait a minute. Was it just a random game?
It was just a random game.
It's really bizarre that 30 years later you'd find it. I'm 25 years.
I just go on eBay and always.
What'd you say? It was 78?
January 5th, January 7th, 1978. Now I can't remember if it was the 5th or the 7th.
22? That's almost 50 years later.
Right. So, and we were with a group at that game. So the tickets weren't even like the real Islanders, like, remember before mobile tickets, they sold tickets at the Coliseum box office, and they were all pre-printed, all 14,000, 15,000 tickets. And if you were in a season ticket holder and you went to go to the advanced ticket window to go buy the tickets, they were in, like, remember in the box office,
racks.
They had those racks behind there, and they had all the tickets. Where do you want to sit? I want to sit here. I want to sit there. So, but we were with a group. We were living in Forest Hills. It was the Queens Jewish Center that we went to go on the trip to the game, and they were printed out Ticketron tickets. So even if I had kept the ticket from back then, it wouldn't have been a real Islanders ticket. So I would always, like, from time to time, just scour eBay and scour the internet. And sure enough, there was somebody selling a ticket from that very game. I couldn't believe it.
What do you pay for a ticket like that?
I think I paid $5 for it.
$5, yeah.
I think I paid $5.
And the guy's like, I can't believe that this just sold.
Somebody just bought the ticket.
Why did somebody buy a ticket from 1978?
But, and it wasn't even like a Stanley Cup playoff game.
Yeah,
it was just an
right.
Islanders regular season game.
Well, the Barons no longer exist. It's not like the team moved. They literally folded. They merged into the North Stars. This is a very, very significant piece of history to have a ticket for a team that no longer exists.
This is true.
Yeah.
Like, that's important. Seriously, it is important.
Quickly, let's get to the Sports Bash Media poll question of the day. We post a new poll question every weekday on the Sports Bash Media X/Twitter page on that subject. Do you collect ticket stubs, now mobile tickets, from the games and concerts that you go to? And if you don't know the answer from me at this point and you're not paying attention, obviously for me it's yes.
Yes. No,
Yes.
The answer for me?
For you, the ticket
Negative.
man.
No.
Negative. You don't keep any, even when there were
Negative.
real tickets, you never kept
Negative.
anything?
No.
Wiz, do you keep your ticket stubs? Sometimes.
We'll take that as a no.
We'll take that as a no. I have a bunch of mine either in frames, in albums.
So what do you do
or
with your
extra
mobile
ones.
tickets? What do you do with that?
I print them out.
Oh, you print out the
I'll
mobile
print
ticket.
out an image and put them in the scrapbook. Or if
Okay.
it's like the Billy Joel, when we went New Year's Eve and it was a mobile ticket, it went into the big frame with the other 19 ticket stubs.
There you go.
So that's what I do. So yeah, I'd love to. I know people say, I just throw it in the garbage or this. Why would you throw a Super Bowl ticket stub in the garbage?
Well, the
Those
Super
are
Bowl
nice.
ticket stubs, I will say this, when they were doing the tickets, and when I say I go to the Super Bowl, it's a big misnomer, but I've been to the last 15 Super Bowls. I haven't attended the game, but I've been on location. I did go to 3 or 4 in the last 15 years, which was another one that would have been number 3, was in Atlanta when I took my wife and my 2 kids to the Super Bowl in Atlanta a few years back. But at the end of every game, there would be people posted up when they did have the hard tickets, and they would be paying $50 or $100 for that souvenir.
Yeah.
And I can assure you the reason they're paying $50 or $100 is because that same souvenir is going to fetch $200, $300, $400
No question.
from a fan.
We have only a couple minutes left in the show. We didn't leave Wiz with a whole lot of time for this day in sports history, so you're going to have to make it a quick one because we have to promote what's going on tomorrow.
No problem, because on this day in 1997, the Nashville Predators made a huge move before their first ever season, and that was hiring future Hall of Fame coach and their current general manager, Barry Trotz, who spent 15 years with the team. And then that's the longest ever by any coaching tenure for any team in NHL history.
And then he went to the Capitals, won a Stanley Cup, and came to the Islanders and helped change the culture and got them to the playoffs in the Final Four 2 years in a row. So absolutely a future Hall of Fame coach. Speaking of Wiz, tomorrow on the show is Stump the Wiz. And here's what we want you to do. Go to the Sports Bash Media, X, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and you have to DM us your best sports trivia question. And if we pick your question and you stump the Wiz, we have a great prize. We have 4 tickets to see the Premier Lacrosse League semifinals at Hofstra Stadium on September 7th. There'll be 4 good seats to see the best lacrosse players in the world here on Long Island. And we need... Now, here's the thing, too. We've had some people send in questions that, you have to come up with a good question. Like somebody sent in a question to me for you. Besides the Mets and Yankees, who are the teams to call New York home in Major League Baseball history? Now, if that's the you might as well send in the question. Joe from Riverhead wants to know. Like right now the sky is blue. What colors are going to be tonight? You need to really think about the question that you're going to send in. It's got to be a good one because we need him to take the 2 minutes to come up with it. You can't be asking us who the other 2 teams were that played in New York in Major League Baseball history.
No, you can't. And actually, I used some of Wiz's knowledge the other day about the Mets colors, which I wasn't aware why they chose those colors, but I actually spewed that information to sound smart like Wiz.
So you have to really think about it and send in really good questions. You can't be asking like what color is the sky during the day? I mean, that's not a question for Stump the Wiz.
No.
I mean, this is not like kindergarten cop here.
Right.
You actually have to think about it.
Give him a tough
Because
one.
this guy is brilliant. This guy is smart. He knows his sports. We need to find a question to stump him so whoever we pick the question from can win the 4 tickets to the lacrosse
Let's go,
semifinals.
baby.
For everybody on the show, I'm Peter Schwartz. Thanks for watching and listening. We'll catch you again next time.